In Blackboard Unit 7, you can see Unit 7, Lesson 2, the past perfect packets and links. And here's a whole lot of links. I'm going to start with a chart, and then we'll do these speaking and writing activities tomorrow. Your homework is going to be from this first packet. It's the Past Perfect ESL library. And I'm going to ask you to do exercise 2 and exercise 3. When you finish those, you can click here to see the answers that I have written. And then if you have questions, you can ask those in class tomorrow. But what I want to do first is start with just a quick review of some grammar verb tenses, okay? And we are looking at the past perfect. As you know, the simple present is a verb tense that we use to talk about our habits and our routines, something that starts in the past, it continues to now. This middle line means now, and will keep continuing into the future. The simple past, we talk about here is now, and that action began in the past and is complete. So I moved to the United States in 2016. That action is done, okay? What we want to look at today is this one, the past perfect. And the past perfect is used when we want to talk about two or more, sometimes 2, 3, 4, 5 actions or activities that started in the past and are finished. And so that's the grammar point that we are going to look at today. Again, that chart is right here, the verb tense review chart, if you want to look at that. I'm going to open the ESL library packet, and this is one, it's, I think, 13 pages, and you are going to do exercise 2 and exercise 3 today, but before we do that, and you can open this on your own if you prefer, we're going to look at some of the grammar notes and explanations here. So again, sorry? No, okay. So again, we're looking at a timeline, and here's now, and here's activity 1. At 6 o'clock, she ate dinner, simple past. At 8 o'clock, I called her, simple past. Now it's 9 o'clock. And if I want to describe these two actions that happened in the past, I use the past perfect, and I say something like this. She had eaten dinner by the time I called her. Or I can change that order and say, by the time I called her, she had eaten dinner. Okay? And what do you notice about the second activity, the event that happened second? If you see this, the event that happened second is in the simple past. The event that happened first is in the past perfect. The past perfect is made by using the past tense of have, and so we say had, and the past participle, eat, ate, eaten. So she had eaten. A common mistake, people don't use had plus the past participle, they use had plus the simple past, and they say she had ate dinner, but that's incorrect. Okay? So again, this is the form, subject plus had plus past participle. The function, when and how and why we use this, when one past action happened before another past action. We have some time markers. We use by the time, okay? So that's a key word, by the time, or when, or before, already, just, still. These are all time markers that can be used in the simple past. Here are a few examples. Everyone had left by the time I locked up. Maybe they worked last at the shop. First thing that happened, People left. Next thing, I locked up. So everyone had left by the time I locked up. Here's another example. I had already sent email about the missing stop sign before they fixed it. Here's my time marker, before. And after that, simple past. So the first thing that happened, I sent an email and then they fixed it. One more example here. By the time my girlfriend woke up, the movie had ended. So the movie ended, then my girlfriend woke up. She fell asleep. It was a boring movie or maybe a boring date. Okay, next page. Again, you have this. You can look at it on your own. And page 3 is some notes. Okay, so the first note, we talk about clauses. These are groups of words in a sentence, and if it's dependent, that means it cannot stand alone. We need to connect it to another part of a sentence. And so here, by the time I graduated, that is a dependent clause. It's a time clause. When we start the sentence with a time clause, I have to put a comma before my subject and the past perfect verb. So by the time I graduated, I had made. Make, made, made. I had made many new business contacts. I can also put that time clause at the end of the sentence. Did I run out of time or I have 10 minutes? Are you all here? I have a few minutes. Okay. So I can start with the subject past perfect. I had made many new business contacts by the time I graduated. Okay, let me go quickly. Again, we use the time phrase. Introductions, I can say by such and such a time. So by July 2010, by 6 o'clock, by the weekend. And that can come at the beginning or the end of the sentence. Note number 3, we can use the past perfect for more than one past event. So I texted my son, he didn't respond. I texted again, he didn't respond. I texted. I had texted my son 5 times before he got back to me, before he replied. Or look at this one. He had cleaned his room, made dinner, and done his homework by the time I got home. Notice I don't repeat had. He had cleaned his room, had made dinner, and had done his homework. We don't need to repeat had. Okay? We know that based on the context. Last note here. In real life, the past perfect is not a verb tense that we use as often as the simple past. And sometimes native speakers informally will use just the simple past even when they talk about 2 events in the past. So we can say, I had shut down my computer before I left the house. 2 events. First, I shut down my computer. Then I left my house. But informally and maybe more common, people will just say, I shut down my computer before I left the house. Okay? And as a bonus, I'm not going to spend time on it, but here's a really interesting sentence. It's correct, and it has the word had 4 times in a row. It's kind of crazy. Okay, that is a lot of information really fast and really quick. I know I'm running out of time before we get cut off. And so for homework, I want you to try exercise 2. And you can just write this in the blank. You can just write these sentences out. And exercise 3. Okay. And here you're going to take the prompt. I missed my plane and I was at the airport and the plane took off. So by the time I got to the airport, the plane had already taken off. Okay. In Blackboard, once you do those activities, you can click on the answers and see my answers. I hope you can read my writing. And so that will be for homework.